Harborview's sunrise painted pastel hues across the harbor. Seagulls wheeled overhead, and fishing boats unloaded their early catch. In a sleek waterfront loft overlooking the docks, Allison Carter sipped her espresso, scrolling through code on her laptop. At 32, she was the co-founder and CTO of Tide Tech, a startup pioneering sustainable aquaculture analytics. Across the table sat Ryan Carter, her husband and CEO, reviewing pitch decks for their next investor meeting. They were the poster couple of tech's romance met at a hackathon 5 years ago, dazzled each other with Python scripts and financial projections, then launched Tide Tech together. Their synergy was legendary. Allison's technical genius complemented Ryan's business acumen. Together, they had secured Series A funding and moved into this loft with floor-to-ceiling windows. This morning felt perfect, until Allison's phone buzzed with a text from Grace, her younger sister. "Hey Allie, I found this fan profile for RCoderX. Looks like Ryan W/secret hacker alter ego. Thought you would get a kick?" Allison frowned. She and Grace, 25 art students, texted constantly, joking and sharing memes, but Ryan had never mentioned an online alias. She forwarded Grace's message to Ryan. "Allison, is this your side gig?" Ryan, "Huh? Did not set that up, must be someone else." But doubt had been sown. As Ryan left for a coffee pitch with investors, Allison's mind churned. A pseudonymous hacker profile claiming to be a private tutor for coding newbies could not be random. And why would it use a photo eerily like Ryan's? By noon, Allison began her own investigation, tracing the RCoderX posts, timestamp correlation with Ryan's known activities, reverse image searches. What she found unsettled her: coded references to Tide Tech's proprietary data models only Allison and Ryan knew. Her heart pounded. Over the weekend, she would confront Ryan, but first, she needed more evidence. Later that night, Grace dropped by the loft, clutching her phone. Her eyes were red. "Allie, I texted RCoderX by mistake," Grace whispered. "He responded, invited me to chat. I told him I was Allie's sister, and he said creepy things." Before Allison could react, Grace sobbed. "I did not know. It fell off. He sent code snippets and said he was proud of how you and he worked together. Then asked if I wanted to see more." Allison hugged her sister tightly. "Why didn't you tell me earlier?" she whispered. Grace shook her head. "I felt stupid. Then I saw him online. Ryan. I thought it was you being flirty with a fan." Alarmed, Allison escorted Grace to the guest room. "I am handling this. You stay here overnight." As Grace slipped into bed, Allison resolved to trace the pseudonym's IP address. By midnight, she had cracked through a proxy and located the user login at an IP registered to Tide Tech's office. Her stomach knotted. Ryan had created RCoderX, and worse, he had posted code fragments that Allison recognized from her in-development proprietary module, ArcusNet, the AI engine analyzing water quality sensor data. She downloaded the forum posts. There were references to exclusive tutoring sessions, hints at back-end API keys, and the promise of a big reveal once the model's open source would drive traffic to a side project. Fury and betrayal surged. Allison stared at the glowing screen. Her husband had not only cheated emotionally, but had stolen her intellectual property. Her first reaction was disbelief. This had to be an illusion, but the evidence was rock solid. At dawn, Ryan returned, bleary-eyed from a red-eye investor flight. Allison met him in the kitchen, arms folded. "We need to talk," she said coldly. He blinked. "Everything okay?" She slapped her phone on the counter, screenshots of RCoderX's code snippets, timestamps, the IP address. "Explain this." Ryan's face whitened. He reached out. "Allison, listen, it's not what you think. Alliteration aside, your secret alias, the stolen ArcusNet code, the creepy messages to my sister, you're betraying me." He ran a hand through his hair. I created RCoderX as a passion project. I posted some test modules to get feedback. Never meant to hurt you." "Test modules?" Allison laughed bitterly. "You copy-pasted my work. You even used my private repo, bypassing my encryption key." Ryan inhaled sharply. "I thought it was fine. I was just building a prototype, was not ready to tell you. We are married. I thought we shared everything." "Sharing doesn't mean stealing," she shot back. "You lied, you exploited my trust, and you groomed my sister." He looked stricken. "Grace, I was trying to help her learn code." Allison shook her head. I do not believe any of this. I am keeping custody of ArcusNet. You are out as CTO. I will dissolve any partnership that involves this stolen IP. Ryan's face twisted with rage. You cannot fire me. This is my company too. She swallowed her fear. Not anymore. You are on administrative leave pending investigation. Word spread quickly. By lunchtime, Tide Tech's Slack channels buzzed with rumors. Ryan's off. Allison's in charge. Investors upset. Grace felt guilty like a boulder. She avoided her sister, and Ryan trembled between anger and desperation. That evening, over takeout on the balcony, Allison found Grace perched on a stool. I'm so sorry, Allie, Grace whispered. I did not think. He made me feel special. Allison hugged her. You are my sister. I forgive you, but you need to be incredibly careful. Grace nodded, fear in her eyes. Meanwhile, Ryan confronted investors in the boardroom. He insisted Allison was unstable, mixing personal drama with business decisions. Some investors, spooked by the scandal and timeline inconsistencies, threatened to withdraw funding. 3 board members called for an emergency meeting. Back home, Grace begged her mother Ellen not to choose sides. Ellen, torn between her daughter's pain and her son-in-law's broken pleas, retreated into silence. Allison moved swiftly to protect ArcusNet. She changed encryption keys, archived the code offline, and patched the API. She handed on-site server access solely to Elena, her head of engineering. But she had to fend off Ryan's counterattack. He filed for joint custody of their daughter Zoe, age 4, claiming Allison's erratic behavior made her unfit. He also filed a motion to freeze Tide Tech's accounts, alleging unilateral executive actions. Rachel Lee, her attorney, counseled calm assurance. We have unmistakable evidence of Ryan's misconduct. The court will see the RCoder X logs, the IP evidence, and your sister's testimony. We will also present signed NDAs and Git logs proving you authored the ArcusNet code. Meanwhile, Ryan covertly circulated a leaked email thread, fabricated, to make it appear Allison shared confidential investor data with competitors. The press caught wind. Tide Tech breach, CTO under fire. Allison watched in horror as her reputation crumbled in headlines. On Friday night, Grace snuck out to meet Allison at the beach, where Allison was pacing in the sand. She collapsed into her sister's arms, sobbing in the roiling waves. I can't watch you lose everything, Grace whispered. Allison closed her eyes, adrenaline and heartbreak mixing. You will not. We fight. In the turmoil, Allison turned to someone she'd long mentored, Mia Nguyen, a talented junior developer at Tide Tech who Ryan had privately coached to weaken team loyalty. Mia, 24 and bright-eyed, had grown disillusioned with Ryan's duplicity. She reached out to Allison late one night. Mia, I have server logs. I can prove Ryan's data theft. Come to the office at 2 a.m. No one else knows but me. Allison showed up in her leather jacket, heart hammering. Mia led her to a secure terminal. On screen, a timeline unfolded. Between 4 a.m. over several nights, an internal script had siphoned ArcusNet's code into dev_backup directories under RCoderX. Mia explained, I set up a worm drive capture. We have immutable logs. He cannot delete them all. Allison hugged her. You are risking so much. Thank you. Mia nodded. We expose him. Then Tide Tech lives on. Armed with Mia's evidence, Allison's legal team prepared a motion to compel discovery, ensuring that the logs became court exhibits. Throughout spring, court hearings were televised. Allison sat in a crisp navy suit as photos flashed, her tear-streaked face, the RCoderX pseudonym threads, Grace's hesitant testimony, Mia's log screenshots. Ryan's attorney characterized Mia's logs as conspiratorial manipulation, and Ryan testified, voice trembling. I meant no harm, just prototype code testing. Allison overreacted and is seeking control. In cross-examination, Allison maintained poise. When shown the uncompromised worm logs, she explained each line's significance. The judge's gaze softened, nodding at her clarity and composure. Outside, protesters held signs. Justice for Allison. Stop tech theft. Her supporters grew, fellow entrepreneurs, women in tech advocates, and investors concerned with ethics. Social media rallied behind #PinkSlipJustice and #WebOfDeceit. One evening, a news anchor declared, evidence overwhelmingly supports Allison's authorship and Ryan's deception. Tide Tech's future now hinges on her leadership. Though her business was software, Allison seized an unexpected metaphorical stage. She partnered with Luna Motors, a startup building eco-friendly electric boats for the same coastal region she loved. Luna's CEO, Javier Morales, an old friend, offered her keynote at their annual gala on the harbor, unveiling a digital art installation that would broadcast real-time code commits from TideTech's recovered servers. On gala night, as guests mingled on Luna's docked vessels, Javier introduced Allison. The screens behind her glowed, a stream of code, timestamps, and IP checks that Mia had orchestrated. "This is your web of deceit," Javier said, voice resonant over the harbor's lap. "But it is also the triumph of truth and trust." Projectors cast Ryan's forum posts, his Arcoderex pseudonym, and the stolen ArcusNet commits, all redacted to protect confidentiality, but clear enough to expose his betrayal. The crowd murmured applause. Reporters frantically recorded her speech. "Today, I reclaim not just my code, but my integrity. Deceit is a tangled web, but truth, once revealed, can set entire networks ablaze." The banner headline next morning, Tech CEO exposed in spectacular harbor reveal, with #web of deceit trending worldwide. Within weeks, the court ruled Ryan had infringed Allison's patents, breached fiduciary duty, and manipulated governance. The injunctions were reversed. Allison regained full control of TideTech. Ryan was removed as executive and barred from any board roles. The fabricated email threads were declared fraudulent. The defamation motion against Allison was dismissed, with sanctions ordered. But the victory came at personal cost. Grace's mental health wavered under guilt. Grace entered a therapeutic retreat in Maine. Mia, who had sustained significant risk, was promoted to lead security architect but carried trauma from Ryan's bullying. Allison, emotionally drained, walked the empty loft one late night. Photographs of happier times with Ryan and Zoe lined the shelves. "How do I pick up the pieces?" she whispered. Rachel handed her the final settlement statement, a substantial award, return of the code, and a heartfelt apology from investors. They offered conditional funding on Allison's terms. Allison exhaled. "We rebuild." Over summer, Allison reorganized TideTech's leadership. She appointed an independent board, instituted rotating directorships, and implemented Code Guard, an immutable ledger for all intellectual property. Elena oversaw engineering, Mia led security. New COO Marcus Lee managed operations. Allison focused on strategy. She traveled to Maine to reunite with Grace, who met her halfway with tearful relief. "I'm so sorry," Grace said. "I'll spend the rest of my life making this right." Allison hugged her. "We move forward, together." In the office, Mia presented the updated CodeGuard portal, open source to select contributors, symbolizing transparency. Investors returned with renewed confidence. TideTech's next product, a real-time aquaculture health monitor, received pre-orders from global partners. One evening on the rooftop terrace, string lights overhead, harbor breeze warm, Allison sipped tea. Javier Morales joined her. "You did more than reclaim your startup," he said quietly. "You inspired an industry." She smiled. "I lost a marriage but gained clarity. What is next for me?" He took her hand. "A life built on trust, and perhaps someone who shares it." Their eyes met. In that moment, Allison felt possibility blossom. Scars remained, but her heart felt open again. Autumn arrived with golden leaves drifting past office windows. TideTech's new flagship product launched at the Coastal Tech Expo, a live demo of CodeGuard securing AI models for sustainable fisheries. The crowd cheered as Allison took the stage. "In a world tangled by deceit, let integrity be our protocol. May every line of code we write reflect trust, accountability, and respect." Later, as she closed her presentation, cameras flashed. Headlines would read, "From Web of Deceit to Web of Trust." Back at home, Zoe, now 5, ran into her arms. Allison held her tight, whispering, "Mommy's here always." Grace and Mia joined the family restored, stronger for the trials. Standing on the terrace under the lighthouse beacon, Allison watched ships sail beyond the horizon. The sea, once a backdrop to betrayal, now symbolized vast new possibilities. She exhaled, letting the salt air fill her lungs. Her journey through lies, betrayal, and revenge had led to this: a life rebuilt on truth, a startup redeemed, and a family united in resilience.